Hello YouTube world, this is Logic Crazy and I'm Jonathan. Here's yet another tutorial on creating a chess solver. Today we'll be focusing on creating the bishop, generating bishop moves as well as rook moves. And you'll see in a moment why we can get through two of these in a relatively short amount of time. And the reason is because the bishop is almost identically coded to the queen. Now the rook could be too, but I'm going to show you some alternate methods of writing this out. Alright, I just copied everything there and I'm just pasting it in so that they are identical. Now a few things need to be changed. Very few. Let's see. One of those things is in the queen one. Now we didn't even state this before. This is a mistake that I had made after this king thing on the queen. I had meant to have a little exception, just as this j is not equal to 4 exception in the king. I wanted to have a if j does not equal 0, or, don't have and, have or, k is not equal to 0. If you did and, it would turn into a bishop sort of move. So, if one of those is not, you don't want both to be 0, is basically. If this isn't 0 or this isn't 0, do this. Now, at the end of the try is where we put our bracket, and I'm trying to think, yes, it would be after the temp. I am pretty sure. Alright, so I'll just put a tab there, indent that so that these two brackets correspond outside of there. So temp's inside. Alright, so now basically what that did was it stopped it from thinking, because if both are 0, then this temp times j and temp times k aren't going anywhere. So it's basically a wasted effort on the engine's part, and it's best just to obviously it would quit right away because it's not equal to 0, but then it'll check if it's lowercase, and there's basically no point to bother checking at this spot when they're both 0. But it's not necessary. The previous code from the end of the last tutorial was valid. It was just could be tweaked a little bit. Alright, so here's the bishop. We've already, in a sense, got rid of that if statement we just added to the queen. And the other thing that we need to change is, of course, changing these to bishop. And bishop, there should be about, I believe, four cases where the letter B appears. Alright, we fixed all 4 of those. Now, bishop, though, we've just copied the code. Bishop's going to work exactly like a queen. It'll check diagonal and horizontal. So the only thing that you actually have to change is, as I was thinking of doing before with the queen, do plus equals 2. And that will avoid this turning into a j and k turning into 0s. That's why we don't need an if statement, partially. So we have j is -1, and then plus 2 turns into a positive 1, and then that's it. And k is -1, and then positive 1. So that's how you do it. That is bishop. Feel free to try out the bishop here. For instance, if I put bishop in the corner, it should have 1 move, 2 moves, 3 moves, and the 4th move captures a pawn. And we'll try this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 4th one captures a pawn. Just like clockwork there. Alright, that was about as easy as it comes. Let's now work on, we'll skip the knight for now. Focus on the rook. Alright, so for the rook we will code it a little bit different instead of just copying and pasting and modifying. Just to show you another approach to taking this, because we use these 4s, and just in case this might make a little more sense, maybe a little less to some, but it's good just to have a bit of variety, although you might want consistency later on and change this, or change the other ones, depending on your personal preference of code. So we're going to, may as well just copy, I just like copying and pasting. It's works a little bit lazier that way. And we'll leave it as this plus equals 2, just like the bishop is. And inside we will also have our try statements. And at the end you would, I'll copy and paste this catch exception thing. Put her at the end there. So same sort of deal here. Should be fairly familiar with that. And then even inside it we will have while, and while it's blank, dot equals, and inside there we have chessboard R, and then C plus, we're going to have to create a temp. Just let me, just thinking, yeah, so we'll create a temp. Whoops. We'll create an integer. Temp equals 1. Again, just like these last ones did. And we should also copy this whole R thing, R and C. Alright, so R and C plus temp. And that temp is times J. So while this whole thing, then do this. Alright. Now what we're going to put in here is the very same old stuff. Whoops. I need to also create, getting a little sloppy here, create a old piece. Old piece equals, and then this whole chessboard thing right here, and then chessboard RC equals nothing. Remove it from its current location. So memorize old location. Remove it from current location. Set the new location to a rook. Yeah. Set the new location to a rook. And then I'll just copy this if king statement. There. That whole if king safe. And I will change it to C plus to R, and I don't need brackets around it, so I could just leave it as R, and then C plus temp times J it would be. So if that, record that move, and then set this back. So chessboard RC equals R. Remember to do capital because that's the white side, at least currently. That's how we'll think about it. Now we'll do a chessboard R, and then C plus temp times J again, and set that one equal to old piece. Alrighty. I believe that is good, and then we'll again set temp plus plus. So we will loop through this bit of code here, and then we will not wait for the catch thing. Within this try thing. Within this try thing, we will then put in an if statements. This whole if character dot is lowercase of the new location we're going. It just puts a purple circle around there by default. pink or whatever that color is. But don't worry about that. When you keep typing, it disappears, and no need to worry about that. And then we have to do dot char at 0. All right, so if it's lowercase, then, so if I can capture, then basically I'll just copy and paste this. It'll be pretty much the same again. Yes. All right. So there we go. And then this time I no longer need to set temp one bigger. Just want to make sure I did that with the other ones. What are we in? Bishop, good. That one's good. All right, so we don't add temp unnecessarily to that. And then I will copy this entire thing here. So this basically checks a vertical line is what it's checking. And now, instead of doing another for loop, two nested for loops, we're just leaving it as J, not a J and a K loop. And we'll just, we'll set temp equals 1 at the end, reset temp, and then paste this whole thing again, except this time we're going to go the other way. So instead of R and C plus temp times J, we're going to do R plus temp times J, comma C. So do that, and here's a quick way of formatting code. Do Control H, and you will get, and now search for this. So copy and paste that in. It finds that, and replace it with this top one I've already changed. Replace with that. Now you don't want it to change all these values here. What you do is you set your cursor to the place, and you go look for Find Next, and Find Next, and you can. The blue one is always the one it's going to currently change, and then just click Replace for that one, and then that one, and you can always see what it's going to change, so that when this one's done and it scrolls up to the top, you don't want it to start replacing those. So we'll just close that. But start searching from wherever you put your cursor. Alrighty. So this is another way of programming it if you don't want to have nested things. Again, if I hit run right here, let's see. You get nothing. Just want to make sure of one other thing here. Alright, looks good. Now when I put a rook here, let's say, I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, because it captures, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Hopefully 11 moves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's dashes in here. Now, where do dashes come from? 505 negative. I'm just going to stop it from going up to see if this was the horizontal or the vertical. Alright, so it happens to be the vertical is producing a negative there, which is not exactly what we are looking for. And just trying to think what the problem could be. Alright, let's have a look here at the code. We're setting the temp to 1. The J looks correct. Go through this. Temp plus plus. So temp should be a positive thing. And it's always adding. Alright, looks good. Not really seeing the error right now. See if you can find the error, and I will I will mention the error at the beginning of the next tutorial. So there's a challenge for you. Until next time, enjoy Java.